Hi, I'm Yegi. I'm an entrepreneur and success coach who wants it all. Family, luxury, career, and the freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want. And I'll do whatever it takes to get there. I created the Yegi Project to document my journey and inspire others to do the same. My mission is to change the world by influencing and leading others to do what they love and live fulfilled lives.
Hello. Welcome back to the Yegi Project. Today's episode is going to be all about gratitude. And of course, we have to talk about gratitude. It is Thanksgiving season, and we have to find our thankfulness, right? But besides being grateful on Thanksgiving, it is so important to be grateful as a way of being. It really can change your whole life. A lot of people do gratitude practices in order to go from poor to rich, from unhappy to happy, and etc. Being grateful really is one of the keys to being successful. And by doing gratitude practices, let's jump into the episode and really break down what gratitude is, how to practice it, how it affects you mentally, physically, and emotionally. The easiest way I could define gratitude is really just being in a thankful state. No matter what is going on around you in your life, you find things that you could be grateful for. Even the little things like being able to walk, being able to speak, being able to breathe fresh air, having clean water to drink. Even if you feel like things are going wrong in your life, the simplest way I could put it, gratitude really is acknowledging all the positive in your life. Even if you may struggle to find some, if you dig deep and do these practices, in time it becomes a lot easier to be grateful and therefore positively impact your life and lead to success. So cognitively, you want to shift your focus from everything that's lacking to everything that you have. If we shift our focus, or when we shift our focus, we end up being more grateful and seeing the more abundance and the happy and positive things in life. There has been thousands of studies done that really shows how gratitude has an impact on our mental and physical health. If we practice gratitude and therefore be in a grateful state more of the time, it ends up slowly becoming our personality. At first, it may feel strange if you're going to sit down and write everything you're grateful for, but if you do this daily or even weekly, you end up really making it part of your personality. And this is kind of how habits and who we become is formed actually, cognitively. I won't go break down all the science to it because I am not a scientist and I can't explain that well enough, but there are a lot of research that shows that, and it is proven that if we do practice a habit many times, that's basically how our personalities are formed. So if you think you're a negative person overall, or you're more of a pessimist, that's just what you labeled yourself and that's what you believe. This is not true. This is what life has happened and this is what you've come to know yourself as. But if you really want to be a positive person or see things on the more positive side and instead of a pessimist be an optimist, that is actually possible. It is your choice. So I don't want anybody just describing themselves as, oh, I'm a realist, or I am just, this is how I am. No, it is your choice. If you choose to be a more positive and grateful person, you could do it. And these are the practices that I will go over of how to help you with baby steps in order to get there. So really, I don't believe in any excuses not to become the best person that we can be, to live happy, fulfilled, successful lives, and have that impact on everybody else around us and in our lives. This is really what's going to lead to a happier, better world. Practicing gratitude or being in a grateful state really increases our feel of joy, our contentment, and overall how hopeful we feel about anything in life. And this is how we can have more life satisfaction. Really, who doesn't want that? Now, we briefly mentioned about sitting and writing all the things you're grateful for, even all the little things. But there's other ways you can act or be more grateful. One way is passing on acts of kindness. Even if you see a stranger passing by, giving them a small compliment like your hair looks great today, or even smiling. All of that can really lead to our physical practice of gratitude. Other ways we can actually express thanks is literally saying thank you to people for everything that they do for us. We take people for granted all the time. If it's our employees, if it's our significant other, if it's our kids, if we really practice saying thank you to everybody and everything around us, this is what's going to lead us to be in a more grateful state most of the time. And of course, all that stuff to leading to being more happy and fulfilled. And of course, another physical way to practice gratitude is giving back. We've had a couple of other episodes talking about giving and how it actually could be a selfish act because it has so much benefits to ourselves and our mental well-being when we give. It just increases so much happiness in us that the material thing or the cost of the thing that we're giving or even our time that we're giving is not even close to how much benefits we get from it with the act of giving. So that is another way, even if it's a small thank you note, even if it's a piece of candy, even if it is a huge gesture to charity, if that's a cause that you have and you can afford it, all of this is ways we can practice gratitude. And remember, you don't have to be uber rich in order to be able to give. You can start very, very small. Even if all you can do is dedicate your time to helping another person, that's way more than good enough. Well, if all these reasons are not enough for you to jump out of your seat right now, pause this video and literally write down everything you're grateful for and try to incorporate this into your life, which I'll give you guys some more tools, like clear steps that you could take in a little bit. It actually also enhances resilience. So we've talked about in a previous episode how resilience is also key to success. And a lot of big time employers look for individuals that are very resilient when they hire them. Because if you have a high position, you have a lot of responsibility, no matter what, or even in life, things are always going to go wrong, okay? You're always going to have things that you're going to need to solve. And you're always going to have to bounce back if things are not going your way. So the better your resilience, the faster you're going to be successful. So if something goes wrong or you totally even lose on a project that you're working on, if you're resilient, you can bounce back really quickly and move on. And people who practice gratitude are overall more grateful in life. They are more resilient because they see the positive sides. So a good example for that would be, let's say I'm working on this project for my business and it really didn't work. I lost money on it. Instead of looking at, hey, this was a bad investment, I can take everything I've learned from that and apply it to my next project. And that's a way I'm practicing gratitude. I'm grateful for this experience, even though that I lost X amount of money, but look at all this knowledge and practice that I've gained in order to make better decisions, better business decisions, and make more money in the future. Now for our physical well-being. So all of this was more mental and just really being in a better mental state, right? Which leads to physical benefits. Ton of research have been done that being in a grateful or gratitude or practicing gratitude increases our physical health. Couple things that are very, very likely to happen is you get better sleep, your blood pressure is lowered, and also your immune system is working and functioning better. And now when this happens, of course, overall, your life is going to improve. If you're in better health, you get better sleep, you're going to be able to function better and therefore perform better at work, in life. You're going to be happier around your kids. And literally, it's a domino effect. So some of the false beliefs about gratitude, in my opinion, is that sometimes we've been told if we overly show our appreciation and our gratitude for somebody or something, they might take advantage of us, or they might not work as hard, especially if it's a boss and employee or some sort of relationship in that way. But it's actually the opposite effect. In nature, a lot of us really want to please the other person, especially if we like and care about them. And obviously, that's our goal with all relationships in our lives. We want to have positive relationships, but also have those boundaries and respect, of course. But that's a whole other episode if we want to set boundaries and respect for other people around us. But it's a myth that being grateful and showing your gratitude really is going to get in the way of other people working as hard or respecting you as a boss. There are challenges in practicing gratitude as well. And I understand sometimes life is tough and it's hard and we've had trauma and we haven't been dealt the best cards yet. But remember, everything is as it is. We cannot change the past, and we don't know what's going to happen in the future. But at the current moment, we can definitely do everything that we can in order to have the best life that we can at the moment. It is very, very important to appreciate everything and everyone we have in our current life, but still work hard to achieve more or have more in the future. But if you don't appreciate what you have currently, you're definitely not going to be in a good state in order to get to the better material, better people, better relationships in your life. I really will tie this in also with the law of attraction. I really do think if we're not grateful for what we have, we're not going to get more of it. So a good example for that is even if I have a car that's just running, it's not new, it's not shiny, but it is running. It's taking me from my home to my work. It's able for me to take my kids to school and drop them off so I can focus on work. Then I need to be grateful for that car. I'm not gonna be mean to it and say, it's an old car, it has all these dents, it's not new, it doesn't look good, blah, 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 blah. Instead, I'm gonna appreciate the car that I currently have, but I can still dream of a nice sports car that's shiny and brand new, right? So this is kind of one example of how we can appreciate everything in our lives. All right, now the fun part. I hope I've convinced you to practice gratitude or be in a more grateful state for as much of your life as possible. I promise you it has changed my life and it can change yours. Don't have the idea of, hey, I'm just not a positive person. You could be the person that you really want to be. And think about it. Who is this person that you really aspire to be? Is this person going to be grumpy and not happy most of the time, but they're still going to want X, Y, and Z? Or this person that you really are aspiring to be has these characteristics, which one of them is being grateful most of the time, right? We're human. There's going to be times where we think everything is horrible, but if we practice, and I'll give you guys a list of things you guys can practice, things aren't going to seem as bad as long. The resilience aspect kicks in. Even if things are bad, we see them in a positive way. We see them in a different light. So here's what I'm doing currently. So I had to do a lot of work on myself in order to become who I am today. But currently, as my basic gratitude practice, because I don't want to have any excuses, but I do have a very busy life. I have 3 young kids, a business to run, and all these extra things that I want to work on and do in life, right? And I'm working on. But it's no excuse to not practice gratitude. Even if things are going your way, you do want to always practice it. So currently, this is the practice that I'm doing. I literally come into my office. Well, first I drop off the kids to daycare. Then I come into the office. I get in a nice state of mind by listening to a podcast that inspires me. I put my makeup on to feel my best. And then after that, I have a small bite to eat, where I can really nourish my body. And we want to eat stuff that's going to make us feel good, not things that are going to make us feel sluggish. I want to make sure that after I do all of that, I literally read my goals and I go over, okay, what's important to me? What am I working on to get to where I want to be? Then after I read my goals and I'm clearly focused and I know what I'm working towards, I sit down and I either read the things that I'm grateful for that I've already written down in the past, or I add to it. So if you've never done this, the first step is to actually sit down and write everything you're grateful for. And if you've done it, you want to read it daily in the mornings, at nights, whatever works better for you. Ideally, you want to do it once in the morning, once at night. But for me, it just works in the mornings. I have busy nights trying to get all the kids to bedtime. So I do it in the mornings. I read everything I'm grateful for. As I'm reading, more things come in mind that I'm grateful for. I try to even write the small things. I literally today, you know what I wrote? I wrote down that I'm grateful for my sweatshirt, literally, because it feels so cozy and it feels so comfortable and nice. And I can just come in, sit, focus, do my work without having to worry about what outfit I'm going to put on. And this writing gratitude, it could literally be a list. Sometimes I feel like writing a list, 1-word items, my business, my office, my car, my family, my kids, anything that comes in mind. Or it could be more like a journal entry. It could be, I'm grateful for my business because it allows me to have a free lifestyle where I can focus on what's important to me and create and have positive impact on the world, for example. So you could do it however suits your boat. And initially it's hard, but as you practice, it gets easier and better and more fun, actually. It ends up being very inspiring. Some days you may not feel like it, but you want to force yourself. Okay, so that's where habits come in. If you build a habit to do this every morning, then even if when you don't feel like it, you are going to do it because it's part of your routine, your habit. All right, the second thing you can do besides writing, journaling about things you're grateful for is verbal expressions. And we've mentioned that in the episode, right? You want to have a goal. Let's say I'm going to give 3 compliments today. You could start small and you just literally express thanks to 3 different people or even things if you don't want to talk to people. For example, I'm grateful for my phone that's letting me record right now. Thank you, phone, right? Or I could tell my husband, oh, I'm grateful for him to be making our dinner tonight. So anything that is, we want to express it. So you could start off with small, 3 basic goals. You could bump that up to 5 or 10 if you see that it's working. And honestly, when you see other people smile because of your expression of gratitude, it makes it even 10 times worth it. Then you want to do it again, right? So try that. So you can literally have a list in your to-do list and cross it off. And it's such an easy thing to cross off from your to-do list. It makes you happy and satisfied that, hey, I got something done on my to-do list. Then it makes you want to do more stuff on your to-do list. It's a psychological thing, but it really works. And the third way to practice gratitude for me really is doing mindful practices, meditation, and or yoga, because the physical aspect of it, even just sitting there with meditation to be really in the present moment, or yoga to get my body flowing and focusing on my breath, or breath work, anything that really focuses my physical being into being in the present and having my mind just be here now, is a way for me to feel grateful for everything and everybody and myself. So that really works for me as well. And in generally, the mindfulness practice also has so many benefits. So that's kind of how you can incorporate the physical in order to feel grateful. So I think if that stuff is not for you, even light exercise, going on a walk could really help you feel more grateful, to try to notice the nature, to try to notice whatever is around you. I think that's really, really good to incorporate being physical, some sort of physical activity, dancing, anything like that, I think will help you be more grateful or practice gratitude on a different angle. Well, in conclusion, we talked about what gratitude is, what are the benefits of gratitude, how to practice it so you can be more grateful overall and lead to a more happy, hopeful, successful life, and also to how it may be difficult, but it is not impossible. And we are in control of our lives. So we could literally be who and how we want to be. We just need to make the choice, be aware, and take action. Well, with further ado, no, I'm not going to say that. Well, until next time, thank you for listening and tuning in. I hope this helped, and happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Bye.
Thank you for listening. Please rate and review this podcast. Follow and engage with us on social media under the Yegi Project. And if you're interested in being a guest, email info@theyegiproject.com. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes.